Dear Journal, today's entry is my survival series and kind of my thoughts and experience and some overview of some of the advancements, statistics, some of the background stuff that you normally wouldn't see in the general Let's Play. So let's get into that. So my survival series is something that I decided I wanted to do again because I haven't done content for probably about 2 years prior to actually starting that again. I did have a little bit of inspiration watching my friend Tenro, who I did land Zankar with, doing his content again, and it's been fun to see that. And a couple other creators. I always watch Hermitcraft, which is always fun. Not quite all the hermits, but most of them. There's also Dallas, which does some Bedrock content. I really enjoy how he does his world creation and things like that. So just after a while, I from watching those and just kind of getting that itch to get back into creating content. So that's why I started the survival series. But I wanted to try to do things a little different than I usually do. My focus is kind of more on simplistic, more approachable, and kind of just taking things as they come, little by little. Which reflects, I think, pretty well for the most part in the series. I do get kind of carried away a few times where I ran off to the trial chambers immediately and did villager trades, which was kind of a little bit advancing the world faster than I normally intended. Because I really wanted to make it more approachable to kind of the general player rather than, having 10 farms within 2 episodes and having full netherite and things like that and going to the nether. I just wanted to take a bit more of a relaxed approach to it. So that's kind of the insight to behind my reasoning and how I go about doing the series. So now, speaking more of the series and kind of getting into more the background stuff, I wanted to cover the questions, because I like having a question for every episode just to kind of see what people think. I'll cover those, and I'm also going to highlight some of my favorite comments from the 10 episodes that we've had so far. I don't think I've mentioned that. We're currently covering the first 10 episodes of the survival series, and I plan to do this every 10 episodes to have kind of a recap / let's look at things and kind of check in with how I'm feeling and my experience of how I've been going through the series. So the first question from episode 1 is, what do you do first when starting a new world? Normally, when I'm playing, I'll rush to grab a bed if sheep are nearby, and I'll try to get iron right off the bat. I might grab a wooden pickaxe, get a stone pickaxe, and then get some iron from there. And never use stone or wooden tools. That's my typical way of starting a world off. And usually I like to try to build some sort of starter house of some sort, some safe space for me to put my bed and sleep. Now the question from episode 2, what tip or animation did you like the most? I believe that's the one where I first did the skeleton chasing me across the bottom of the screen. For some reason that was just so entertaining. So I did have to review that. It wasn't actually the skeleton one, though the skeleton is one of my favorite ones. Early on, it was quite satisfying. And that episode specifically, I did a truck, which I actually built in Creative and then cut it and pasted it into the video editor. And I used it for an animation for every time I said trucking, because I've been having fun using a play on words for some of the animations, as well as just having fun with it and experimenting with it. And I'd like to try to continue to do that overall, which I feel like I've been doing that quite a bit. I'm adding at least 3 to 4 animations, I feel like, per episode, which they take quite a bit of time to kind of put together, but they're quite satisfying with the results, even though they're a little bit janky and simplistic, but they're still fun. And it's actually something that I've always wanted to do with my Minecraft series, is just have animation as part of it, and finding a simple way that kind of goes along with how this episode or the series in general is supposed to go, keeping that simplistic feel. Now our third question is, what is your favorite pet in Minecraft. And I also added a bonus question of what mobs did the parrot copy and how many times of each one. So it was a total of 21 times, 6 times for the creeper and, no, sorry, 6 times for the skeleton and the zombie, and 9 times of copying a creeper. Which is kind of crazy. It means parrots are kind of noisy. In fact, there's a little bonus scene for you. I didn't answer the first question. Right there in front of us, here's an axolotl. That is my favorite pet in Minecraft, even though they don't really do a whole ton. They're fun to have, and then I like tropical fish as like kind of a secondary. But one like extra thing that I thought was pretty entertaining. In one of the episodes, the parrot actually copied a shulker. And I thought the parrots had to be like in proximity to the mob in order to copy it. But I've definitely not been anywhere near a shulker. That's way late game content that I'm not going to get to for quite a while. And another funny one is too when they start copying the pillagers and going her and stuff. It's kind of funny, the little tiny parrot voice. And the fourth question from the fourth episode is, which new dog is your favorite? I personally like the striped and the spotted one. I'm kind of conflicted between which one I like the most. And the fifth question actually had 3 parts to it. And the first one is, have you found a trial chamber yet? Which, yes, I found it in the episode. In fact, I went through and got the villager trade specifically to get the map so that I could find it easier. Well, it might be a little tricky if you try to find it in other means. What do you think about them? Well, I think they're a cool structure. They're definitely a big upgrade from the monster dungeons that we had for such a long time. I feel like they're a good challenge early game. Late game, they're kind of meh, especially if you have decent gear. But if you're not careful, it can kind of get you. I think it's really cool they're making use of the like lingering arrows and potions, well, tipped arrows, as part of like the ominous trials. Overall, I think it's a good addition, but I do feel like there could be some more improvement. Where exactly? It's kind of hard to like put my finger on it. It feels like there's something missing. What is the coolest part you've experienced? Honestly, I like the mechanics of the keys for opening the vaults. Though I do wish there was a way to like reset a vault somehow. I do think the wind chargers are a really cool aspect. The breeze is a very interesting mob too. Like, it can trigger the redstone things and it can actually throw the player around. So like it's completely new combat that hasn't existed before in Minecraft. So I have yet to really play with the mace specifically, so I don't quite have an opinion on that. What is one of your lucky moments or cool moments in Minecraft? And honestly, I feel like getting that trident first thing in this series with no mending and just an iron sword in the very first round, that's like insane luck. And then getting mending on the first like villager trade that I even set up was also just ridiculous. I've never had like 2 experiences like that I think happen right in a row. I've had occasional like luck with tridents in previous like worlds, but that's definitely the one that tops it. And as far as any other like cool experiences, I'd have to say Lanzazancar, which is an SMP that I started. I found a bunch of other Minecraft YouTubers that were just like starting out fresh, and I just proposed the idea, hey, do you want to start this SMP? I got like a server set up. We decided to do like a bit of storyline, so it was fun to kind of just improv and just have some fun playing Minecraft in general. And there was some really cool experiences throughout that series, especially because I got some other people to help make us some custom dungeons that we got to experience in the game as part of the storyline, which was just amazing. And there were so many like just fun, silly moments and really cool builds, and overall it was an awesome experience. And number 7 is, what is the best loot you can find in the trial chambers? I think most people would probably say the heavy core. I personally feel like the wind charge and potentially the keys are probably the coolest thing. For one, if I ever want to like make a door, I can actually use a key as part of like, the key. And the wind charges just have such fun mechanics to them that I feel like they're going to be like the highlight of the update, as well as like the trial chambers in general. In fact, I think that's what most people probably come back to a trial chamber for, is to get more wind charges for whatever contraption or minigame, or just for the fun of it, to be able to jump around. Now, the eighth question is, what is your go-to food farm? I'd have to say it's probably sweet berries. I don't tend to usually have a specific thing I go for. It's more of kind of what's accessible. But the reason I do sweet berries is they're pretty easy to farm, and they give you like 3 or 4 berries per harvest, and then you can very quickly get a big farm going and have several stacks of sweet berries ready to, feed you. Ninth question is, what fun little things do you like to add to your world? I don't know if I have a specific thing that I like to add, though I do tend to like, the axolotls and tropical fish. I do like aquariums. I think it just tends to be per world, and is kind of what I'm feeling at the moment. I'll just do whatever little silly thing I'm inspired to build. And sometimes it's really silly, and sometimes it's a big project like building rail system in the nether or something like that, or building some crazy redstone contraption that may not be very efficient, but just looks cool or sounds fun to actually make. Now, the 10th and final question is, what do you love most about the ocean? Honestly, I feel like it's the music that plays when you're in like ocean areas, and partly because that just has some nostalgic feeling to it. There's one specific song that reminds me of like the water levels from Donkey Kong on the Super Nintendo. And I also just swimming around in the water and seeing the fish and like the coral reefs. Those are probably like my favorite parts, at least visually. Yeah, the ocean's overall definitely one of my favorite things. But now it's the comment shout out section. So the first person we got is Gamerite2008. We have Apologu? Sorry, I'm terrible at pronouncing things. WellPanda326. We got Tenro. We have Thorian Dragon Tamer 1411. We have Ogisha27. We have, that's Gradian Stranger 3101. And we have Rexio69XD. Thank you so much for your comments. I appreciate you. Now let's jump into the world and kind of experience some of it. We'll start off with a little bit of a flying tour, so you can kind of see what I've done so far and kind of where we've been so far in the series. Hope you enjoyed that little tour of the world so far and kind of seeing some of the places that we've been to throughout the last 10 episodes. So this is technically a copy of the world. So my statistics are roughly what they should be, but I also use them for the clips you just saw. So the statistics might be a little off, but we're going to kind of review them anyways. They'll be close enough. So I think we'll just kind of look at some of the biggest ones that stand out, like the fact that I've blocked over 18,000 damage with a shield. That's kind of ridiculous. So nearly half of the damage total taken, unless that takes away from... Oh no, that's damage taken right there. So I've blocked more damage than I've taken. That's impressive. And I've dealt 4,500 damage. I think this flown statistics probably from me doing the little video clips or the clips there, but look at this walk distance. 64 kilometers. That's kind of crazy. Let's see if we have anything else that's kind of interesting. We've got almost 250 times using the crafting table. We've jumped 21,000, almost 22,000 times. Killed 529 mobs. All right. Let's see, anything else? Snake time is almost 1 hour. Let's see. This world's been open for about a day. Now, I think that's a little inaccurate due to the fact that like I said before, I recorded the clips. I think it's just a little under. I'll definitely try to make sure in the next video like this that I save the copy of exactly once I finish off like episode 20 so that I can be more accurate in this. Let's see, how about items? Let's look at times mined. Okay, so we've mined granite and dirt and stone. That's our top 3. Just shy of 500 on each of those. We've broken 2 shields, 2 pickaxes of the iron variety. We've crafted almost 1,500 wheat. That's kind of crazy. We've used our pickaxe and our axe nearly 2,000 times each. And I think that's pretty good for that. Let's take a look at our mob statistics. We've killed 72 bugs. 91 cows. Don't mind the zombie burning in the background. 63 pigs. Alright. Okay, skeletons we've killed 20. We've died to a skeleton. We've died to a bog. 71 zombies, and apparently I've died to a zombie twice. That's kind of interesting. We've killed 3 witches. And 13 drowns. 13 drowns, and the very first one was the one that got us to Trident. That's pretty cool. Now let's take a look at our advancements here. See how many we've got so far. So these ones are kind of counting, kind of not, but we've got how many in adventure? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so 13 in adventure. And husbandry, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, not very many there. And then just general Minecraft, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can I count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of them. So what is that? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27 advancements so far through mostly, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a natural, like not intentionally seeking the advancements is kind of what's happened through gameplay, which is pretty cool. We'll definitely see quite a few more, I think, in the next time we have a video like this. Now for kind of the end, to wrap up this video, I wanted to kind of go over some of the challenges that I feel like I've faced while just doing the first couple bits of this series. I think the first initial one was like trying to keep things simple. Because I have a tendency to be very grandiose and wanting to do big, crazy projects and things that take, you know, hours and hours just to actually get it into a finished product. And when I do that, it tends to make it difficult for me to ever get a complete project. So I'm I think I approached that challenge pretty well when it comes to the series for the most part. I kept things very, very simple, as I was intending to, and trying to do slow bits of progress and slowly adding on. As you can see, like this starter here is, it started as a tiny little box, and I added and I added and I added, and that's kind of the vibe I want to kind of keep going with this series if I can. Another challenge I kind of faced is occasions when I didn't feel like sitting down and recording, or I didn't feel like doing the editing, because sometimes it just didn't like connect well, I guess, with that desire to create. Just kind of a bit tired. It might be maybe outside sources or just not feeling the inspiration, things like that, or wanting to do something else to kind of give myself a break. And I think the third, probably biggest challenge is definitely audio. Audio is always a struggle when it comes to recording videos, and I feel like kind of towards the end of this one, these like 10 episodes, I've kind of got my audio in a good place. And then the editing. The editing's another challenge sometimes. Like it can be really fun, but there are moments where it feels quite tedious and taxing. Especially doing some of the animations, like I feel like have an idea pop up in my head, and I'm like, I want to do this animation. I want to do, I want the trident or the drown throwing a trident at me and have something happen. And I got to do like little bits at a time because it's animation, so you got to do like frame by frame kind of thing. And you're stacking frames, and then I'm doing audio as well on top of that. So it's kind of an involved process. But the result is quite satisfying when I actually sit down and do all those little itty bitty pieces that are required to produce the animation. In fact, I don't know if that was something that I expressed about this series in general. Maybe I mentioned it slightly, but just implementing animation into my videos is something I always wanted to do, and it's kind of cool to see it kind of appear in this series. And I do intend on continuing that. I think that's going to wrap up my final thoughts and kind of showing you some of the background of how this series works. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next one.